Hello!
Hello! Welcome down to our office.
Yeah. Welcome to the Owlboy 5th Anniversary.
Yeah.
So, just shown from the intro, we are live from our actual office. This is the room where we actually make our games. We've just made it all fancy.
Yeah. Because now we actually have an office, so it's time to show it.
Yes. So, quick rundown of what's happening right now. So, I guess we can start off with just an immediate announcement.
Yeah.
Because, this is the Owlboy Anniversary. And we realized maybe not everyone has played Owlboy or even knows what Owlboy is. So
we put up a demo.
So
everyone can go to Steam and download it now for free and try it out. It's got the first dungeon in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, as usual, we put the game on a discount as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. We can do that.
So for everyone trying this game for the first time, if they like it, they can buy it.
All right. So that's all the corporate stuff out of the way. How are you?
I'm pretty good, actually. It's been a weird year.
It's really been... I feel like last year we said the exact same thing. Like, it's been a weird year. Pandemic, all of that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's been a lot of change. Of course, we've been working on a lot of things. We haven't just been sitting here twiddling our thumbs, but, a lot of stuff has happened in our lives, too.
Yeah. A bit too much stuff.
Yes.
Like I've become a dad. That was a couple of years ago, but now I'm gonna be a dad again.
Yeah, you've become a double dad now.
A double dad.
Well, not quite. Almost a double dad.
Yeah, it's due to happen next year. So meanwhile, I guess we work.
Yeah, I guess the D&D pad is now double dad.
Double
student.
So, and it probably stands for double work amount too, because we've been super busy. We can't really show too much about what we've been working on.
But we'll get to that soon, because we have a whole thing to get through. So, let's back up a little bit. So I'm assuming that most of you here have been here for the previous stream, know what this is about. For those that do not, the Owlboy Anniversary is commemorating the day that we launched Owlboy, now 5 years ago. It was November 1st. We were terrified.
The reason why we are celebrating bigly every year is because it was quite a big moment in our lives. We spent 10 years making this game.
So we want to make sure that, everyone can participate and everyone can sort of feel part of this whole thing. But if you are new here and you don't know what this is all about, or you're just kind of forgetting what happened last year, we got a little catch-up video to get you up to speed on what happened. Hello!
Hello!
Welcome everybody! Welcome to the 4th Owlboy Anniversary. This has been a really strange year, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been very weird.
You might notice a little bit of a change. This is our stage.
There was a pandemic going on, so we wanted a place where we could sit at least 5 meters. Even though we're just like 3-4 people gathered at this office, it's pretty darn huge.
Pandemics kind of changed things, and we were going to try and find a place where we could actually work together and be a little bit closer. And here's the new D-pad office.
Here it is. And with a new office also comes a new address.
You guys can send us your mail if you want to.
If you do, we'll be adding you to the Bogwin Bingo Cage.
The announcement now is that Alex has actually joined the D-pad team. So, welcome, Alex.
How are you?
I'm on the team.
Yes. You look like you're freezing.
It's Norway.
We haven't even figured out quite what Savant was at that point.
No.
Oh no, the Bogwins. the Bogwins have ordered the wrong logo.
Oh no, why did you do it? And go left. You can see the other left. There you go.
There's a character that did make it into the game but didn't have the full role that we wished for her to have. No, Getty, no!
No endorsing.
No, Getty, stop! Are you ready for the thing?
Oh, and like this. Okay. Oh my god.
Until next time, I guess it'll be the next one, Owlboy's 5th anniversary.
Yeah. And yeah, we're hoping to show you what we've been working on very soon. Yeah.
So how was that?
We're still alive.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
I mean, that was a great time though. The fact that we got to use the upstairs, what is it, stage? That's
Yeah.
what it's called in English, right? Stage.
I mean, that's probably where we're gonna do most of our streams. But we felt like, we've been working so much down here at the office this year. Let's show it off. So that's why we're sitting here.
And I feel like this is a good time to just go through the program or what we're going to be doing tonight. So if you're curious about how these streams work, we'll give you a quick rundown right now. So what we're going to be doing, anyone at any time can write us a question. And if you just want something general asked about, Owlboy or the development or how that is, you'll be added to the Bogwin Bingo.
Oh yeah.
And the Bogwin Bingo is something we do every year. We rotate this little thing here, and then you get to gain, what is it like? I think it's 3 people that
We have 3 prizes.
Yep, so
Here. It's
prize
a
number 1.
limited edition of Owlboy, which is totally sold out everywhere. We have a small stash in our treasury, which we put up every anniversary.
And of course we have prize number 2, which is
Owlboy figurine.
our Owlboy figurine. We show those to the lovely people. Don't knock the camera over. So we have, of course, prize number 3, a Bogwin plushie. No, not a Bogwin plushie. That's an Owlboy plushie.
Yeah.
Otis plushie. I'm very tired.
So we're gonna do our Bogwin bingo at the end of this stream.
Yes. So just keep sending in your questions. We will be gathering those up, and we will be adding that to the tally.
Yes.
And then randomly we'll draw someone that will win one of 3 prizes.
As always, we're gonna eat cake.
We're gonna eat cake.
And you're gonna have to watch us eat cake.
Unfortunately.
And we have a couple of greetings from the rest of the team.
Yes.
And we're gonna play Owlboy.
Of course. So the majority of the stream is probably going to be us playing through Owlboy, but during that time we will also be taking questions and answering questions. And yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But now we've talked a lot about, Owlboy and the anniversary and all that. We have actually been doing quite a lot since you heard from us last. And part of the reason why we're usually so quiet is because we're working on things that we can show you. Unfortunately, the problem right now is that we're working on things we can't show you. And there's a lot of strings attached to things that we're doing right now. But what we wanted to do was just give you an insight on the current conditions at the studio and what we've been doing.
Yeah.
We've been working as a team for some time now. It's been great figuring out the dynamic of the team and where to go next. Of course, even before Owlboy's completion, we were already making plans for our next project. The idea was always to make an environment where we could experiment with what we wanted, and that's definitely yielded some interesting results.
Hello.
Okay.
I think the video was muted for a bit, but yeah, that was our office.
Yeah, and we've been working on a couple of things. I think maybe the next thing now is, well, we have been working on some things that we unfortunately can't share with you right now. However, we are working on something that we can share with you right now.
Oh yeah.
So we can show just a quick glimpse of what we've been doing and then explain a little bit about what that is.
Yeah. So we're working on an arcade machine.
In fact, we're working on 2 arcade machines.
Yeah.
So that means that D-Pad is entering the arcade business.
Somehow.
Which is weird to say.
Yeah. So, which kind of hints what our next game is gonna be about.
Yeah,
It's,
just
we're not gonna show too much this stream. We're actually going to stream more from it next year.
Yeah, so part of the problem with these streams is that they're on a very specific date, and we want all this to be focused on Owlboy. We don't want this to be sort of the D-Pad Direct kind of a thing. It feels better to focus on the things that people come here for, to celebrate Owlboy and the fact that, you know, after 10 years of development it came out. So what we are going to do very soon is do another stream. You're not going to have to wait for another year, so we're announcing it right now. Sometime during the new year, we're going to be doing another stream where we are going to be focusing more on our new project. And you'll actually be able to see it this time and not just, you know, clickbait stuff.
Yeah, we've had a tendency to, you know, once we have our anniversary, to sit and work and forget that the world exists. And then next time, we're actually going to be able to show what we've been working on.
Yeah, so we're planning on going on a bit of a tour, showing the game off, letting everyone know that, you know, we have actually been sitting here working steadily for the next, for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
We haven't taken a break.
It's been weird. Like usually, like every year, we have tended to do at least 5 or 6 like conventions, and then returning to the office to work. Of course, this year we've only been sitting here working. As we're going crazy. Next year, though, we can finally get to meet people again. We are vaccinated. We're ready to go.
Yeah, in fact, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, we went to our first meetup, which is very weird. Norway, where we're developing our games, is now completely open to the public. So we went out and spoke to other developers and, you know, did the convention stuff. Very strange to be back in that space again.
Yeah, that's since Norway's like game dev scene is so small, you go to one convention and you meet them all.
Yeah.
It's like 200 people. The entire Norwegian gaming industry.
So that's what we have planned. So look forward to another stream not too far from now. So
Yes.
This is not going to be goodbye for another year.
No, but now let's focus on the owl himself.
Yeah, the Owlboy, if you will.
Yes.
In fact, I mean, part of the thing that makes this whole job so great is that we get to, you know, interact with all of you and see all the things that you've been doing. You guys have been sending us fan art now for, since before the game was out.
I mean, yeah, like the first piece of fan art I remember we got in like 2011. I think it was after we released the first demo, and the old demo.
Oh, the old one. I remember the old.
The one that, you know, sucked.
We had For those not initiated in this, we put out a demo where we said that, oh, the game's going to come out in 2011.
Yeah.
Which, of course, did
Was
not
a
happen.
lie.
But we did have... we made a demo where we sort of just plopped you in place. And then we realized, wait a minute, people don't know how to play.
No.
So we awkwardly put little signposts everywhere that you had to read. The problem was that we had no prompt to make people understand how to read the signs in the first place.
No, and the huge problem is, in Owlboy, you can fly. So most people, the first thing they do is just fly above all of the signs, because all of the signs are like on the ground. So, so nobody knew how to play the game.
Yeah.
Giant Bomb had a video where they played it and they didn't know anything. So, they tried to beat the boss without knowing the key feature in the game.
Yeah.
So it was pandemonium. But 500,000 people downloaded the demo, and we finally got the word out. And after that, the fan art started coming in.
Yeah. And we've been receiving so much art over the years, so we just wanted to showcase it here for at least a little bit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
of course, this is not the only thing we have.
No.
Just in general, across the office, we have these giant walls of high-quality prints that we just put everywhere because, how can we not?
We bought a big office last year. We're gonna need a bigger one because the fan art keeps coming in and we keep printing out.
Just need to add another branch to the building so that we can put more stuff in there.
And we're gonna have since it's a local community house, we're gonna have a fan art gallery at some point.
Yeah.
With just walls and walls of nice Otises.
So we just wanted to give you a moment of a shout out of appreciation for all the stuff that you make. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And of course, fan art's not the only thing, because there's the people that send us amazing things, but then there's also the people that made it.
Yeah.
That don't always have the opportunity to be here and sort of voice their own.
No, they sit in another country, so
Yeah.
and COVID has made it kind of impossible to go there, especially to Texas, where Jonathan is living and Adrian is in Canada, and so they sent a couple of greetings on their own.
Hey everyone, happy 5th Owlboy. Don't believe Boneless Kitty's lies.
So that was Adrian.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
Apparently it's something on our Discord, I think. We have a Discord, by the way.
Yeah, join it. Crazy stuff is happening there all the time.
And of course, it wouldn't be an Owlboy stream without something from Jonathan. Now, usually we just have him here sort of second nature by all the lovely music that he's made for the game over the years. But this time he actually sent a video of a personal composition. So here's that now.
Yeah,
Always lovely to hear Jonathan's music.
it is. And speaking about sound, Martin, he's been super busy with projects of his own. Sable came out. Martin is the sound effects guy on that. And Moonglow Bay just came out. And Townscraper.
Yeah, the guy's been busy, is what we're saying.
Yep. So, and Henrik, he made sure to have the demo running just in time for the anniversary.
Yeah, practically, I mean, if we didn't have Hendrik, things would break down pretty fast.
Yeah. So let's celebrate by eating some cake.
Oh yeah, it's cake time!
It is cake time.
Here's the other tradition that we have
Yeah.
for every stream. You get to watch us just stuff our face with cake stuff.
And this time I forgot to run to the store and, order a special cake. So this time it's Halloween cake from yesterday. I was supposed to order the biggest cake, but things have been rather chaotic these days.
Spatula.
Because that's what you eat cake with.
We have a whole restaurant kitchen.
There wasn't a cake I booked.
We have a whole restaurant kitchen, and for some reason we don't have like a
Yeah,
cake
it's
stand.
specifically a wedding kitchen as well.
Yeah, this is great.
So
Alright.
I don't know what is this? This is a knife. Let's try.
All right.
Yeah,
This is professional, by the way.
I think this is good.
Yeah, let's just have half the cake each. It'll be perfect.
You're making me spit on the cake.
Excuse me.
It's okay. We're vaccinated.
Oh, that's true.
No, I'm just. All right, there's
Here's your
that.
Halloween stuff.
All right, and then we grab that. We're probably not going to eat all of this on stream because we're not gluttons.
Yes.
Oh God.
And we've introduced the rest of the team as well. And Simon's wife is at the camera. She's the one giving us cake.
Yep. Julie ran the social media for a good while, so she deserves credit too. There she is.
Hello, Julie.
She's the one that making sure that all of this runs while we do this and have a good time.
Yeah.
But all of that said, that does mean the cake starts the Q&A section.
It does. So, while we're eating cake, let's possibly try to answer questions.
All right. So these are questions pulled from you guys,
Yeah.
and through, I think it's both Discord and Twitter and the Twitch stream
Yes.
right now.
So keep sending your questions still, because they're all sent to my phone. And every time you do, each question that we read up is added to the Bogwing cage.
This is good, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap.
All right. So the first question is from Melon Muncher. Well, that's on point.
Uh-huh.
His question is, design-wise, who is your favorite character, and what do you like the most about their design? Mine are by far the Bogwins.
That's actually a really good question. What's your favorite? Just
My favorite design? We underused this character in the game, but his name is Strix.
Oh,
I
right.
loved his design, but I guess it's his coat that makes it.
Right. Yeah, the sweater that he's got tied around his neck is also of particular significance. So, yeah, Strix is a really interesting design. This is a difficult one because there's, what I like design-wise, and then there's what is, what gets elevated by the writing and the completion of the entire game as a whole. I think it's interesting to think of Molstrom's design just from how complicated it is. And by that nature, I also really like Alphonse's design just because I think I remember why I picked that face guard that he has, but thinking back at it now, it's really unique and I find that really interesting. I also, really like Dirk's design. Of course, the cheap answer here is Otis, because I was very happy because that was a lot of what the game hinged on early on, was that how do we present the idea with a unique design that hadn't been seen before. Now I feel like Otis is a little bit more contemporary. There are a lot of designs that are similar to Otis now, but back then people didn't do the sort of like old 30s line eyes, his sort of eyebrow feathers. I was really happy with that.
I think that's every time I like try to draw Otis, I just his eyes, and then his twinkly bits, and then his nose, and it's. I remember we made a snowman with Otis once.
Oh yeah,
and that was so easy.
Yeah, it was. I think we put it behind your house
Yeah,
somewhere.
we did, to scare my neighbors.
Yeah, hidden. But I guess that adds another ball to the bingo cage.
Oh yeah, that was Melon Muncher. You are number 39. Hiya!
There you go. All right, question number 2.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. This is from N. Ryan. What was it like working with Jonathan Gear, and what was the process of writing music throughout the game development period? Okay, so I mean, we didn't meet Jonathan a whole lot. We met him like 3 times.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about because now what we do when we create our games is that we're very involved in the sound process and having everyone really close and like very specific bits of just making sure that everything fits exactly where it is. But the thing about when we work with Jonathan is he would make these sweeping compositions, and we didn't really have to change anything.
No, that was the weird part, because since we didn't see each other a whole lot, everything he made was just made for Owlboy.
Yeah, it was just usually it was just perfect from the get-go.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've said this on stream before as well, but Mesos, the snow area, part of the reason why that came to be as it was now is just, well, we need more space here because he made this giant, beautiful composition.
Yep.
We need to expand the game to accommodate.
Yeah.
But I think there was only one track that we asked him to change. It was the in the lava area in the floating continent. And the thing was, it wasn't bad. It was actually fantastic. The thing about the composition, though, was that it had sort of like the orcs from Lord of the Rings kind of a feel. And I felt like we wanted to sort of differentiate ourselves a little bit because it was having a bit of a resurgence while we were developing.
Yeah, but those tracks were excellent either way, and what he ended up doing was releasing the B-sides of Owlboy. It's a soundtrack that you can find both on, I think it's on Spotify, and it's also on YouTube, on Jonathan's official channel. There's a vinyl you can get, and some of those songs, I mean, we ended up using some of them for promotional, like we added an Advent music video because they were so good, and I was so sad we had to actually cut them from the game.
Yeah, in fact, we tried to use pretty much everything that Jonathan sent us. It was more of a, what can we reasonably put in here that is still possible for us to fit in and still complete the game. So I guess the short answer to your question is it was very hands-off because we didn't really have to change anything.
No.
It was lovely the way it was.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, a rarity. Usually you go through tons of iterative processes. But Jonathan, it was just...
Check out his site too. Sometimes he live streams some music, and he's worked on a ton of games as well. So that was N. Ryan. You are number 10. Hiya! All right. Next question from Sketch. how much of the story did you have planned out before you started applying it to the game? Were you working on assets alongside planning out the story?
Okay,
Oh,
this is an interesting one because Owlboy was very non-traditional in that sense. Part of the issue, and I've said this before, the problem with Owlboy was that we were making an entire game at once, which traditionally you don't do. It was sort of, you mapped out the entirety of it, but if you took out a piece, the whole thing collapsed. That's not necessarily how you iterate on something in a reasonable manner. However, when it came to Owlboy, we knew what the start of it was going to be, and we knew what the end of it was going to be, just not what connected it and why that was significant.
we knew what the final 10 seconds were gonna be.
Yeah, because we knew we knew what led up to it, we knew what the twist was going to be, but it's also, this is the same way when you're directing movies or you're writing stories as well. The connective tissue from when you start till the end will eventually influence what the ending's impact is going to be, and then that changes sort of the context, then you have more to work with. So when we developed Owlboy, I believe it was in the 7th year that we finally just figured out what the red line and the whole thing was going to be.
Yeah, I mean the characters came into like being what they actually were supposed to be. Asio, I remember we figured out exactly how to do him. You made those scenes that we're not gonna talk about.
Yeah.
um,
There's
and-
Asio, if you're looking at the very first promotional images and the sort of beta demo trailers that we had lying out, I think we had like a giant floating Asio head that was going to haunt Otis.
Oh man.
Which was, we sort of used that kind of imagery, just not with his giant head floating around, literally.
We have that screenshot somewhere.
Yeah, we even, I think that video is still up on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's the thing. But the thing is, and I suppose just getting back into how the process came around, when we initially started out, Geddy was not a huge component. He was one of the first characters that I drew. Like the first characters that I drew were Otis, Geddy, Asio, the Professor. Those 4. But I knew also, who some of the other cast was. But the fact that Geddy became such a main component was sort of like, well, we've worked so much with him, that means that he's probably important. Let's figure that much out.
Yeah, I think the first time I tried it, he just like turned to Otis and he said, "Pick me up."
Yep, that was
And
it.
that's about it.
And then Alphonse was supposed to be an optional gunner. We had this whole thing where you were going to find like a golden skull and bring it back to him in the first dungeon. And then in doing so, because he was going to be he was going to be into theater.
Yeah,
So he was going to hold it up like Hamlet.
You were gonna do like a theater play type of thing.
Yeah. And so that was to unlock him if you remember to go all the way back.
Yeah.
And then we realized this will be kind of boring because then we can't do any characterization.
Yeah, and we're gonna show you when we play the demo. The game later on. We're gonna show you what we did to cut back on all of that, all of the different crazy ideas we had. We took a shortcut.
But part of this was the case with a lot of things too, like Twig. Twig was an interesting addition, just in the sense of he'd been there from the start. He was such an important part of the beginning of the game, and then it's sort of turned into, well, he's actually important. We have to use him for something. Now, keep in mind this is very early on, so it's not like we just kind of shoved everything in there at the last minute. But as you're developing things, you start to latch onto the core elements of something and then sort of stretch it into what the core of the game could be. We didn't know that this was going to be a game about a big feud between two large groups and some world-shattering events.
And some owls mixed in.
Yeah, so that's something that came along later. But thank you for the question. That means you're added to the bingo.
Oh yeah, you are. This is sketch number 15. Boom! No! Okay. Boom! Okay, so, fourth question from Spoopy Suits.
That's perfect.
Why do Asio and Otis resemble each other in terms of color and and clothes? Is it just a teacher-student thing, or are they related by blood?
I don't really like answering those types of questions just because I like people to be able to speculate. But I can say that they're not related by blood. Because that's... I feel like we were clear enough on that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to answer that one. And I mean, of course they resemble each other because, you know, they are owls from the same region. So, of course there's going to be similarities overlapping certain parts.
Yes. So, yeah, Asio was a huge character, but, you know, he's not Owlboy's daddy.
No,
So-
that would be...
Did I say Owlboy? I mean Otis, of course.
Yeah. So let's leave that for now. But still, thank you for the question. That means you're added to the bingo.
That was Spoopy Suits. And you are number 20. Whoop, clang. Okay, from Renzo. What was your process for coming up with the character design?
Just in general of
Yeah.
Otis, perhaps?
I guess, like, as a whole, like, for characters, like, all of the characters in Owlboy have vastly different designs.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the character design in Owlboy, I mean, for those of you who know me, you know what the process was. We tried 100 different things. Nothing was set in stone at the very beginning. I mean, it started with an alien, then some guy with a jetpack, an insect with wings, a girl with pigtails that worked as propellers, a dog with wings. Did I already say that? I forget. And I think right before I came up with an owl. In fact, it was Julie here that suggested that we could use an owl, because before then, I was about to use a seagull.
Oh.
Here she is.
There's actually, fun fact, a Norwegian game coming out with a seagull.
Oh yeah, that's true. So
Looks good!
yeah, it does. But just in terms of going through how I came up with the character design, I mean, of course, this is a very complicated question, and I'm not sure I can answer in complete detail on this stream. But the short of it is that I just wanted something that stood out and felt like it was unique in its own right. Owls also, I didn't necessarily start out with owls, but the second I came up with owls, then there's a lot of stuff pre-built into that. You know, owls are wise, owls can fly, or most of all. There's a certain aesthetic associated with owls. And because of that, that gave us a springboard to build on a lot of things. But more importantly, it gives you something to have a contrast to. So when you have Otis's shape, which is sort of this cone-like structure, then a character like Alphonse is very fun, because then you can have the complete opposite. You can have basically like a ball with legs, with heavy bits of armor and a giant hat.
Yeah. So we have a scene like in the trailer where all of the gunners are running, and you could it could be black and white, and you would still be able to see the differences between all those characters because they have such a
unique silhouette.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that, of course, the silhouette is important, but I mean that's sort of the character 101. You have to have the unique silhouette. But I think when you're thinking about it, like you're sitting down and you're trying to think, how do I make a character design? Just making something that is the opposite of what you already have, and then trying to extrapolate that and think, okay, what many more versions of this can I make? So I'd already made Alphonse, which means that I have pirates, I have masks, I have, regal clothing, I have bits of metal, I have face covers. Let's do that, and in another form, and now you have tons of different pirates.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my process for that.
I remember seeing Alphonse the first time and thinking, he looks like a cozy stove.
Perfect. You've never told me that.
No.
You're just lighter. No.
Yeah, and he'll fry your little meats.
Yes.
Okay, so that was Renzo. He is, or she, number 28. Let's hope you win.
All right.
Okay. Oh, from Janne Salo. This is, we've had some questions before from Janne.
Mm-hmm.
If you were offered to sell the rights to Owlboy to Hollywood or a Hollywood studio, would you? And if you would, which director would you want?
Just Michael Bay.
I was gonna say Michael Bay.
Oh, holy shit. Just every scene is just an explosion. No, that's a good question because, well, the thing is, Hollywood in general has not been too great with adapting video game movies that aren't already realistic.
I mean, they've done some recently, which I guess did like fairly well. The Monster Hunter one, I haven't seen it myself.
Well, I think, okay, so the ones that everyone remembers that they kind of enjoyed were things that were already sort of just games with people. So you had the Tomb Raider movie, the original one. You have the Prince of Persia movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some people like that one. There was the Assassin's Creed one, and but then you have the Sonic movie, which the thing about it is that in order for that to work, where it sort of meshes with that Hollywood kind of vibe, you had to introduce humans.
Yeah.
And now it's already sort of not Sonic in the first place. So.
Yeah, I mean, the first scenes in Sonic is just like full on CG. They're at Mobius or some place that resembles it. And I was thinking, yes, I hope it stays like this for an hour or two. Mm-hmm. But then it moves on to the real world. Yeah,
and that's the thing. So if we can kind of gauge what it is that you're asking, if it's Hollywood, not particularly interested, mainly because then you have to involve actual actors, and that would be kind of strange. If we're talking about animated, yeah, of course, I would love to see that.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it would be great if we could do something hand animated, sort of it doesn't have to be sort of a Ghibli-esque thing, but I would love to see that.
Yeah.
In terms of directors, though, because if we're talking, because now we're back to like live action stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any sort of live action director that could sort of capture this in a way that wouldn't be weird.
No, I guess, I guess we just have to think that if Owlboy is going to be a movie, it's going to be vastly different from what we want. So
let's go as far away as humanly possible. We'll get a collaboration between Michael Bay, Tim Burton, and David Lynch.
Yeah. David Lynch. If he would
and
do
Rob
Owlboy.
Zombie.
Oh my God.
Owlboy by Rob Zombie.
Yeah. I was gonna say Quentin Tarantino, but I don't want to see Otis with guns.
I mean, that's kind of the area that we're approaching right now. Right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, even he's nervous about
He
it.
was like, no guns.
So I guess yeah.
But I would vastly prefer a hand animated thing. I mean, digitally animated, and very few people do hand animated things anymore.
Yeah. Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Hayao Miyazaki.
Well, there's a bunch of Japanese studios that still do it, but they're all digital scans. But, a CG movie could be fun too.
Yeah.
So, if you want to make one, get in contact.
Let's put the link here. Can we do that?
www.sendusmovierequest.com. All right, so...
Okay, that was Janne Sala. Janne. No, Janne. You are number 26.
All right.
Okay, and then TSAT is asking, what upcoming project are you most excited about?
Oh.
All of them,
Yes.
but I guess the one that we've been working on for the longest time would be pretty exciting to get out finally.
Yeah, okay, so we've done a lot of internal pitches, like a ton of them. If people think that we've just been idling this entire time, we have not. We have tried to make so many games.
Even during Owlboy's development, we did some like projects that still, alive to this day.
Yeah.
And right now we have decided on a project finally.
Yep.
Like after Owlboy, we were like, we want to make so much. We want to do all the different things all at once. And we kind of did.
Yep.
We've been making a lot of projects, but now we're focusing.
Yeah, and the great thing about all this, now we mentioned last year, and I guess that was in the anniversary roundup as well, that part of the reason why we've been quiet a little bit was because of the pandemic. And there's some pretty specific reasons why what we've been working on for the past while is not possible to work on during a pandemic. So we've been working on a couple of different things. I can at least say two of them are extremely exciting because I've never seen someone do that before. And it's so aggravating that we haven't been able to show it yet. But the one that we are right around the corner to announcing is so damn exciting that we get to showcase now. Because it feels completely feature complete. If we just threw this out there right now, even though it's not complete, people would feel what the game actually is now, and that's such a great feeling.
And given the chance, next year we're gonna go around and show it to people, let you actually play it, and then, announce when it's coming out.
So yeah, I think the one of the many projects that we're working on is the one that we're most excited about.
Yeah, that one. I know of which one you speak.
Yes! I'm glad that we're on the same page of the one that we can't speak about.
So that was TSAT. You are number 75. You're in the cage now. Okay. So next question from my nerd 78.
All right.
How many Bogwins is too many Bogwins? 3.
No, specifically exactly 5.
Okay.
Because there's 4 at the cannon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the one who must not be named.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once that one is added, that's too many Bogwins.
True. And we have too many Bogwins in a storage container somewhere.
They're in Texas.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to break into my storage container.
Hey!
At some point, we're gonna go to Texas and we're gonna break them all out and put them on a plane with us back to Norway.
They got their vaccines. Let me know.
It's just going to bust out and it's going to be an avalanche of Bogwins.
Yes, I know that, I don't know if that sale is live yet, but there's, you can get Bogwin plushies at the Yeti store. No, I am 8-bit store.
For shame.
Yes. And I guess we're gonna have some too at some point. But yeah,
Thank you for the question. I appreciate that.
That was Dminerd78. And you are number 60. Whoop. All right. Let's have a couple more questions, but we're soon gonna have to play a little bit of Owlboy, so let's take 2 more questions.
2 more questions.
And while we play, we're gonna also answer more questions, so keep them coming. Okay. A person with 2 questions.
Well, that's cheating though.
Let's go for the most interesting one.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Actually, both are pretty interesting. But will you make an Owlboy art book? And this question is from Soul.
I really want us to. So, people have been asking me in my private streams, people have been sending us messages, can we please get an Owlboy art book? And the answer is yes, we absolutely want to give you an Owlboy art book, but you have to let us know. Because the thing about art books is that you have to buy them in bulk, and that means that we have to make sure that the people that say they want them actually want them. So sometimes you'll get like 20 messages from people that say like, yeah, we want an art book, this is going to be great. And then they forget. And then that turns out that it was only those 20 people.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to, if you want an art book, be vocal about it, and then we'll make that happen.
Oh yeah. Maybe we should start like a petition at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, since the game took so long to make...
Well, you have to add them to the cage, though.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do that. There's probably a lot of concept you could... Yeah. So the rest of the question is, there's probably a lot of concepts that we haven't shown.
Yes.
So that would be pretty exciting. Okay. That question, Russ, was from Soul, and you are number 36. All right. Final question before we start playing a little bit. This is from Tape. Art raffle closed. Okay. Tape cassette guy. Okay. So is there could be a possible sequel or a new original game? We get asked this a lot, but let's...
Yes. Well, unfortunately, we can't say anything about that clearly, because if we did, then we'd already have announced it today. There's definitely new games in production, and you're going to be hearing about it within the new year. So let's keep it at that.
Yeah.
Because I really want to talk more about it, but if we say more, that would be wrong, and we are technically not at liberty to share.
I mean, we are, but we're not gonna.
Yeah.
Okay. Just one more question.
Wait, you have to put that one in the cage.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that was from Tape Cassette Guy, number 17. Boom.
I'm just gonna eat this while I can.
Yes. Final question before we play a little game. Is Buccaneer affiliated with the pirates? How did she get her hands on a pirate mask? Too bad. Okay, that was from Ice Wolf, and you are number 31. Blech. Or was that correct? Yes, that was correct. Ice Wolf,
Got it.
31. Okay, let's boot the game.
All right.
So, do you remember where we left off?
Yes. So, if I remember correctly, last year we played all the way up till we played through the first dungeon.
Yeah.
So let's just see that this is running as intended. We just have to set this to the Owlboy tab
Yeah.
and the Owlboy gameplay tab.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Bad.
There we go.
And
All right.
there.
There it is.
And then we get the thing to work. There we go. Okay.
Don't
So-
delete the save file.
Why not?
No.
Okay, so last year we played all the way through the
Dungeon 1, or what we call Dungeon 1. It's called the Owl Temple.
Owl Temple. And I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler at this point, because we have just got through this and we're about to hit a bit of a twist.
I mean, this is the big part.
Yes, this is one of the big parts in the story. So this is what we're going to be playing through this year. And of course, if you don't feel like being spoiled, that's perfectly fine. But this might actually get you a little invested in, in where we are.
Should we explore this area a little bit before going off into the clouds? And I will ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay. This is from Goldian the Owl. Who were Skops and Letia? Were they Otis's parents? Oh, there's a lot of questions. Oh my god.
Let's pick the one then.
No, in
Okay.
general, there's like 100.
Yes. Okay. That's the question.
Okay, that's the question. Unfortunately, I have to decline to answer that, but you're still in the Bogman bingo.
Yes. Okay. So that was the Golden Owl. Number 70.
7-0.
7-0. Okay.
This is also a quick thing while we're playing through this. This is sort of a remainder of when the game was a lot larger in scope.
Yeah.
So this isn't quite... this was actually a new area that we added that is not part of the main overworld, but this was sort of the size that we wanted of it when we...
Yeah, I mean, this is the only part of the game where we zoom the camera out to get you really, like, to have a good look at what Simon's art looks when in its original, like, resolution. This is the only part of the game where we actually do that, apart from when we show the... we're gonna get there later on.
Yes.
So, yes.
So now we are going to be approaching the city of Advent. For those that didn't catch this last time, we had just been sent on a quest to stop, to warn a city about an oncoming attack by pirates. But we got a bit sidetracked because we were attacked by pirates on the way there, and got one of them as an ally. But then we were chased by a giant mechanical toad, and because of that we're a bit late.
Yeah. Late for the party. Also, if the volume is off, let us know in the chat. Oh,
Volume should be balanced. I checked that before.
okay. Okay. There's so much drama. I didn't know we made a game that was so dramatic.
What have we been doing for the past 10 years?
Isn't this supposed to be like a cozy game? With owls and stuff? So now that we have a lot of characters on screen, this is a good question from Sub-Zero Chimera.
Yes.
Do we have any favorite unused characters?
Favorite unused characters?
Yeah.
Well, there was one that I'm kind of shocked that we didn't end up using, the boat captain.
Oh yeah, he is in the Advent music video.
Yes.
That's the only place you can see him. It's the only character that I kind of semi-designed. I made like a mock-up of the guy.
Yeah, in fact, I think your sort of goblin sketch, because he had this kind of face, was ripped from the game files and put on like a sprite edit.
It
sheet.
was, somebody found it somehow. I don't know how, but it's there.
Yeah, and then I redrew him to be this giant, rotund man.
He was awesome. He even had the talking animation, I think, because he was gonna ask you where to.
Oh yeah, and he was context sensitive too, because he could, if you were standing in front of him, he would talk forward, but if you were behind him, he would just turn around.
Yeah, and he was gonna be the mechanic, like for quick travel in Owlboy, back when Owlboy was much bigger, like landscape-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So removing him also removed a key feature in the game at the time.
Yeah.
Which we don't have quick travel in Owlboy anymore. We have one.
Yeah.
So so that's an interesting question. Mine one is a species of character that you made that never made it into the game. You designed an amphibian people. They had like animation and everything.
Yeah, the irony here is that they were one of the first things I designed. I designed them before a lot of the major characters.
Yeah.
So they were sort of like a fish frog type of people that had a giant dopey king that looked like he didn't quite know what was happening. And the idea here was that, okay, what kind of animal can fly around that doesn't have wings?
Yeah.
So they sort of used the frog,
Their chin.
yeah, to sort of inflate into balloons, like hang and dangle from that.
Yeah.
And then they would fly around, and you would actually shoot at their head to pop them so they would fall down and you could talk to them. But of course, that was when the game was a lot larger than it is now.
Yeah.
And it just didn't make sense to have like a hidden people somewhere that didn't have any impact on the story.
No.
But thank you for the question.
That was from Sub-Zero Chimera, and you are number 25. And then a very relevant question to this scene, since Aisho just, locked you inside of a house during war. If you kicked Aisho in the head, would his face go flying like a football? Question from Fluriden 1.
Thank you, Fluriden. Appreciate
I mean, it depends on the boot that's kicking you. If Simon were to kick Aisho in the face, I guess it would fly pretty far.
I think, wait, does his head fly or does his face fly?
I'm not sure.
Just specifically.
It doesn't say.
It
Does-
specifically says like an American.
Oh,
football,
it's,
so I would say his head since it's shaped that way.
I just imagine
It says
does
face.
his face detach like
so
a
his
mask?
face detaches and goes flying. I guess
that's the question.
yeah, that's the answer. It depends on the boot.
Yeah, it depends on the boot. If it's
Okay.
a magical boot that can detach your head.
So that was question from Fluriden. You are number 62.
I love how we get these really, we have this really intense scene where there's a war happening. Otis is sad, they're locked in a school, there's gunfire going on, and then in the middle we're just like, would Aisho's head fall off his shoulders if someone kicked it? Hey, hey, hey!
That's the D-pad way.
Yeah.
And also, talking about crazy, Kernel is yet another crazy character that I feel we used her enough, but we had opportunity to use her more. I think we talked about it the last anniversary,
Yes.
but she was actually supposed to be a gunner.
Yeah. She
And
was supposed
she
to be the
is.
force. And in fact, I think if you were to tinker with the code a little bit, she's still labeled as a gunner object.
Yeah.
So if you were to just hit enable, you could fly around with her and all that. But the thing is, she was extremely unbalanced, and unfortunately there was no way that we were able to sort of fix that in a way where it made sense for the game.
Yeah.
This is also an area, by the way,
Yeah.
that was meant to have a bigger significance. So, of course, with how the story went, this changed a lot. But you have this building right here. This counter, you were supposed to be able to register all the monsters that you'd seen and sort of check.
Yeah, I remember that.
This office, of course, was supposed to be Strix's office, and you could get missions from in here. And up here was a mechanic that was actually fully animated, we just didn't put in.
Yeah.
Where you could carry ish seeds, the things that you end up eating in the game now, but these things that dangle right here. All of the ish seeds, if you just carry them with you and put them to a bit of soil, you could plant them, and then depending on putting, I think it was 2 ishes at the same time.
You could have like a quick bar, it was fully implemented, and you carried them with you to gain like temporary bonuses. Like if you ate a yellow-ish, it gave you a boost to your speed, so you could fly really fast, you could shoot really fast. It lasted for about a minute.
That's what these extra slots were meant to be on the side, but then they became gunner upgrades.
Yeah.
And but we had this idea for like hybrid issues where you could put 2 next to each other, and then they would have the assets of both.
Yeah, there was a cauldron you could put them into to make potions.
Yeah, you had a giant juicer essentially,
Yeah.
where you just put several in there and just sort of squeeze them. You had like a juice bar.
Yeah, since there was a lot of different colors on the issues. There was a red one, blue one, yellow. You had to like balance out the color to get the correct color of the potion. If you had a green one, it would give you even greater effect than just eating an ish straight up.
So now I have summoned Alphonse like he asked us to, and I guess the game can speak for itself. Should we take another question?
Actually, this question from Seek or @Sarambles is anything you had to cut from the game, story-wise or gameplay-wise, and we pretty much answered that one.
Yeah.
So I'm putting you in the bingo. You are number 83, and your name is Seek @Sarambles.
The interesting thing is, of course, what this scene that we're at right now leads to, which is probably the biggest thing that we cut.
Yeah.
But we'll let the game speak for itself for now, and I'm pretty sure that everyone that's played the game knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep. I have a question, and these are just quick-fire questions from Louis Di Gore. What about fig pin for Owlboy? What's a fig pin? Does anyone know?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that
Maybe
is.
that's a meme.
Let's
Somebody
Google it.
explain it to us in the chat.
Yeah, we're gonna Google it. And your name was Louis Di Gore. You are number 40. Bogwin bingo.
Somebody's questioning perhaps they made a figure.
Yeah, fig pin. A figure pin. I mean, we do have the PAX ones.
Yeah,
You're wearing it, right?
these ones specifically.
But I'm not sure if they're still available.
No, they're not available anymore.
No.
But we consider new stuff like that all the time. But we just have to,
Did you give the number?
Yes.
Crap.
40.
Oh.
40. I don't know why I remember
Simon,
that
thank
one.
you.
Yes!
If not, I'm gonna put an extra ball in.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll let you know if you're doubling too, because a lot of people are sending questions.
Yes. I'm gonna quick fire one question. Owlboy sequel when? From Brutus 5150.
Well, again, we can't answer that, but
No, you are number 31. Brutus 5150.
Wait. You already have it,
51.
51. Okay. Sorry.
this one was actually kind of an interesting thing. So just to interject while we're looking at this. One thing that we wanted to make sure with Owlboy was that we weren't too locked in on what type of character was in what particular space. So one thing we implemented, the second we figured out that this scene was going to happen, was that we have a randomizer whether or not the soldiers are a man and woman. So at any point it could be either or. So if you're walking around town or you're speaking to people, it could really just be anything.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a fun detail that I don't think a lot of people noticed.
No. Does anything happen if there's only men or only women?
Chaos. I don't know.
Crash. Okay. Let's see. Okay, from Rathalos, is the game a Kid Icarus style, Owlboy? Is the game a Kid Icarus style, Owlboy?
So you're asking if the game is a Kid Icarus style type of game?
I guess so. It was supposed to.
Yeah, so a lot of the original inspiration behind Owlboy came from Kid Icarus, but not quite directly. It was just more. No. Oh no! I completely forgot that this is the thing that you have to do. Do they stop after a while, right?
No.
No, they don't.
You're gonna have to, kick that guy's ass. You're gonna have to. You need to hide, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're dead.
No. It's hard to play and think about questions at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's actually
Get
play
past that area there. I mean, this is the trickiest part of the game.
Yeah. It really is. So part of the game was inspired by Kid Icarus. Just the thought process of how they designed things.
I mean, exactly this area is actually very vertical and very Kid Icarus-like.
Yeah, part of the idea with Kid Icarus that I thought was fascinating was that you had what was essentially a vertical game. The entire game is vertical. It even has a like a Pac-Man type of scroll to it if you go towards each side. But the one thing it felt like it was missing, because I mean the main character's wings, is why can't you just go back down,
Yeah.
explore more? And part of that thought process was put into how we could design Owlboy, and that's also part of the reason why the game has dungeons. A lot of people think that's because of Zelda, but no, it's because Kid Icarus had dungeons along with like open areas they could explore. We want to sort of see what that would feel like in sort of an open world type of setting.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the question.
That was from Rathalos, and you are number 61. 61. Okay. Yeah. Another question.
Go for it.
What's a normal day of game development like in the office? Any different from other devs? And this is from Gabe Williams Live.
I guess the most obvious thing is that we have very different types of sleep schedules.
Yeah. I usually come to the office at 9 o'clock. And try to work a normal day, as normal as it can get. I do like the paperwork and all the boring stuff until Simon shows up usually, which is at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Because the irony here is that since we made a game about owls, I'm actually a night owl.
Yeah.
I operate best between like 12 and 3 a.m., which is really frustrating. But it does mean that we have managed to find a rhythm where we can all work together.
Yes.
And the good thing is, and I realize this is a little strange, but because of that, we're not like right up in each other's face right in the morning. But of course, when we need to work together, we just kind of meet up at the same time.
Yeah. And, sometimes it's more intense than others. Like this month, especially like October, is like an insane month since we're prepping for the anniversary and we're doing all these other crazy things. and trying to, finish our other projects. It's it's an intense time, but finally being able to meet in an actual office is it's so much better than living. There was a time where you spent a lot of time in America. I spent a lot of time in Oslo, and it was kind of pandemonium.
And I think the one thing that is different in our case than a lot of other companies, now I can't say that for 100% sure, but I have a suspicion, is that our development process is based a lot on trust. And I don't mean that as in, some sort of sentimental type of thing. I just mean that I know that Joe can do the thing that he says he will. I know that Alex can do the thing he says he will, that Henrik can, and you guys trust that I can do the things that I say, and that means that there's less that we have to follow up on. So when I say that, okay, I got this part, you don't have to hover over me and make sure that it's done properly.
No, we're usually pretty good at trusting each other with work, and sometimes when it's really when we're in a really intense spot, we make sure to stay at the office for longer hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're our own bosses, so we can decide exactly when we want to come into the office, which is a huge freedom.
I usually work from about 2 till, I believe, till 10 or 11 in the evening. Which is still the usual 9 to 5 work schedule, which is shifting.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You're good. Okay, and that question was from Gabe Williams Live. You are number 11. Into the cage. Okay. Did you make it?
I did make it.
Oh,
Magic.
that is actually pretty
There he
great.
is, the Whispering Man.
I forgot that this guy existed. He is a guy.
I really enjoy him as a character because it was just sort of we were trying to show what was happening during the whole invasion.
Yeah.
And just having sort of a feeling of what people were feeling at the time. And I made him sort of more of a general character that was just gonna encompass that. But then Henrik and you gave him such amazing dialogue, he just became his own thing.
Henrik made an entire new dialogue system just for this character, because this is the only character that talks over you as you try to have a conversation. He's panicking, and then the speech bubbles are just randomized over his head with different quips. So yeah, he's an interesting character to work with.
Someone in the chat was just asking if he has a name.
Does he has a name? In the code, I think I just called him Panicked. Yeah, Panicked guy.
But I don't think he got an official name, at least.
No, he never did.
The thing is, we do have a lot of characters that have names, it's just that it's been lost in time.
Yeah.
So maybe if we go through our old documents, then
We
will
might
find-
be able to.
But that's technically a question.
Yeah, it was.
I'll write down the name. It was a Crimson something. I can't read that fast.
Okay.
And what's the
Number 35.
All right. And then the one that was just asked too, I guess, hasn't been added, has it?
Yeah, Gabe Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That's true. Okay. Let's. We're closing in on an important moment, so I'm gonna pause the questions for a little bit. Yes, you made it. And whose cameo is that? I wonder.
I don't think anybody knows that, so I guess now you can probably say that.
Yeah, this character was sort of based on my wife.
Can we see you in the camera? I don't know. But yeah.
Back when I had red hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not a one-to-one because, I mean, it would be kind of strange if I did Julie just as yourself in a fictional setting.
It would be weird, but she's named, my name is Julianne.
Yeah.
So she's named partially after me.
Yeah.
So we had, I don't know, we needed a character that was sort of part of the resistance movement. And we needed someone that could break down doors as well. And then I thought, hey, who can I name this after?
Your wife can break down doors.
Why not my wife?
Did you ever break your leg though? I can't remember in real life if you broke your
Yes.
Oh.
The first time we went to GDC at San Francisco and had a indie stand there when we got nominated, I broke my foot walking down a hill.
Holy crap, I
I
seem to remember
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep. The irony here, of course, was that in the game, she was not supposed to be a big thing.
No.
But she practically became the fourth gunner sort of by accident.
Yeah, or the fifth.
Yeah, the fifth one.
Um,
So it was almost kind of disappointing that we couldn't, like...
have her permanently like in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was disappointed by that too. She's a pretty cool, like she's a melee gunner.
Yeah.
Which is the only character that you have that is like kind of melee. Alphonse is too, but this character just opened up a lot of movement as well.
She plays a little bit like Zero in the Mega Man series.
Oh yeah.
You have to close range in order to get targets.
Yeah, and she can do combos, like
Oh.
you failed.
But let's do another question.
Let's. Okay. So, question. What from Burnt Ghost Toast? What other Bogwin minigames would you guys like to make to put in the game? Okay, so this one is so I've gotten a lot of flack for the Bogwin minigame. For a very good reason. It's super hard, and it doesn't control like anything else in the entire game. We play tested it a lot to make sure that it's played correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And it did. The only thing is you have to be in a kind of state of mind.
Yeah, just okay. Here's the tutorial. I don't know how much you can see on that little screen, but here's the tutorial. When you're controlling Otis, it's not so much that you're rotating. You're pointing down as a pendulum.
Yes.
And then when you press right, you're just gliding that way. That's the max, and then the opposite. So it's sort of like you're defying the arc.
Yes.
From plummeting.
And what we didn't, realize that everything happens so fast that you're gonna fail at least 20 times before you learn how to play it.
Yes.
I've always been wanting to fix it, but we're probably never gonna do.
Because we have other games that we need to make, so...
And I was also supposed to add like a tutorial. Like we had designed 3 different kind of Bogwin minigames. It was gonna start in a bigger area, like a huge version of Tropos. And it was gonna be the 3 parts. One was gonna be really easy. Mm-hmm. You just could do like this, wee, and then you were done. And then part number 2 was going to be medium hard, and the third one is the one that actually made it into the game, which is why people are pissed off, because it's the hardest one.
And at the very start, even before we got the Bogwins in there, the cannon stuff was quick travel.
Oh yeah.
So when you had unlocked the cannon, it was you were supposed to be able to get shot up to the top of the map and just sort of glide down.
It was our second attempt at putting quick travel into Owlboy.
Yeah. And there's so much of the stuff that just turned out we didn't need.
No.
Which is frustrating, because if we had needed it, that means that, maybe people wouldn't be so upset about it.
Yeah. So, We're still kind of. There's a lot of things that we cut from Owlboy. There's a lot of things we wanted to add to Owlboy, never made it in, and that was one of the things. I really wish I would have time to make more mini games, especially the Bogman ones. They were really fun. We have different parts of the games that plays a little differently when Geddy and Otis is stuck in webs in the Dungeon Valley Cave. The reason why I wanted to add stuff like that was because it mixes things up.
And the thing is, like, I can't say too much, but we have thought of things that are very Bogman specific.
Oh yeah.
Just game ideas, projects. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's going to be something that we'll be looking at in the future.
I hope so.
But believe me, we've had so many Bogman ideas. I think it's more than any other project that we've been thinking about.
Yeah, there's a ton. So keep a lookout. Okay, that was from Ghost Toast. Who is number 32? Boom.
You're in the cage!
Okay.
Now, for one of my favorite scenes.
Okay, so yeah, let's. Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, just a flinging animation. We love this so much we put it as the centerpiece in the trailer too.
Yeah, and this woman, once you had Bonanza, she's the old lady here, finished up, she reminded me so much of my grandma that when I wrote her, I was like, yeah, my grandma would do stuff like this.
She'd hurl dynamite.
Blowing up stuff with dynamite and,
But we love Bonanza as a character so much that our sort of announcement streams that we've done for a while.
Yeah, our first anniversary was called the D-Pad Bonanza.
Yeah. So we just took her name as sort of a company mascot.
Okay, so could you tell us a bit? Oh, this is from Rathalos again.
Should we do them again?
You just don't put another thingy.
Let's.
I have them marked if they're already in the basket.
Okay. Question: could you tell us a bit about the repercussion of the Chrono Break trailer that you made?
On the Owlboy Anniversary.
There was a lot of repercussions, especially from people who told you to just make the game and not give a shit.
Yeah, that was interesting. So for those uninitiated, I love Chrono Trigger, the game on the SNES, but I've been making, I don't know what to call it, fake mock-ups for a while of games for potential sequels for games that I would like to see. And the thing about that kind of thing is that when you're actually trying to get into pitch things or do stuff as a job, you're under NDAs. You can't actually show it. So the irony here is that the Chrono Break trailer, which was a fake sequel to Chrono Trigger specifically after Chrono Cross. I made a bunch of these trailers. It's just that no one can see them. So this one I purposely made so that people could see it in the first place. And of course that means that you can't go anywhere with that necessarily because it's out in the public. However, what that led to was, there's some stuff that I can't talk about, of course, but one thing that did happen was that the director of Chrono Trigger found it and shared it with his fans. In fact, I recently was informed that he did an interview with the two other main directors of Chrono Trigger and sort of very obviously hinted that, hey, we should make a new project maybe, Just something. And they thought he was kind of joking, but I don't think he was. And this is incidentally just a couple of months after he shared that.
Yeah.
So
they got inspired.
maybe. I mean, I'm not gonna make too much of an assumption that we have that kind of power.
No, I mean there's plenty of people talking about Chrono Trigger and its potential, sequels.
But what I can say is that, and I say this every time someone asks me about this, I would love to work on, interesting IPs and games that I love and games that other people want to see. They just have to get in contact and actually make a proposal that is reasonable.
Yes.
In a way that we will be able to compete, because the part of the reason we founded this company in the first place was to find a way to work where we can be treated as people and have a comfortable life while we also make things that other people enjoy. And I think that should be the goal for any company.
Yeah.
So that would have to be the criteria.
And we haven't sought out any IP specifically either, because we have a ton of projects of our own.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to think, oh, what could we do with this?
Yeah. But that's also the thing. I mean, a lot of the reason why most people know me for mock-ups for other games is because the stuff that we're actually working on I can't talk about.
No.
So one day, very soon now, you're going to be seeing stuff that we want to make, and not just the hypotheticals.
Oh yeah. And on that note, wait a minute, that was from
Rathalos, but he was not.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, it's from Janward 16. Would there be plans for a retro remake of Owlboy to be released for the SNES or NES? Well, interestingly enough, we've made one.
Yeah. That's the okay. We made a lot of different tests. I guess the one that we can actually talk about is one that we made in the I think it was middle development.
Yeah.
Where we actually made an NES game out of Owlboy, where you could sort of play a sort of snippet version of
It was supposed to be just like the first area of the game, and you would meet the first, super easy version of the first boss.
Yeah, and I think also it was sort of like a remixed version. All of the villagers were kidnapped.
Yeah.
And you were going to the Owl Temple to free them from pirates. It was sort of like very much 1982 type design. But all of that is technically done. It's just that, when you make games, sometimes things get put on the back burner.
Yeah.
But absolutely, we have a lot of potential things for that kind of thing.
So I think the specific question was if we actually could target the Super Nintendo or the NES, but I wouldn't want to.
No, I think it's very neat to be able to have things on specific consoles, but those consoles are very limited in hardware. You have to develop very specific tech for that to work.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done it. I've had people help me out and make working NES copies and stuff. But the problem is you're very limited with what tools you have to build those games, and that means that instead of using something like Unity or GameMaker or anything that vastly improves the production cycle, you would have to sit there with, I forget what it's coded in.
Yeah, it's I think it's Nintendo's own thing.
It's not C++, is it?
No.
No, that's
C++
newer.
came later. I'm
Is it
not
ASCII
quite sure.
or something?
I wouldn't. I started in GameMaker, so I'm I can't really program at all.
Also, this scene that we're about to see right now,
let's
I mentioned it before.
let's enjoy it.
This, the dreadnought that you're about to see, this is the small one.
Yeah. This is the second time we zoom out to show you all the details.
Because this is, we called it the dreadnought, but then we had what was called the Mothership, which is, I believe, 16 times the size.
Yeah.
I never got that one finished, but this was not supposed to be the Mothership. But as it turns out, it was so big that we weren't able to show it on screen anyway, so it didn't make any sense. Get it. I mean, it's understandable. I mean, you don't want to get shot by the giant 60,000 caliber bullet. Alright.
So that last question was from Jan Bird 16. Number 12. Okay, I'm just gonna watch you squirm through it. Oh, yes, let's play part. We're past this part.
We'll wait till we're done.
Yeah. Quick, hurry. Are you stressed out?
Okay.
Okay,
You can hear us now, right?
I hope so.
It's difficult to do volume adjustment on the fly, unfortunately.
Okay. Actually, I'm gonna let you play past this part too before we jump to next question.
Actually, that's a good question. Are we going to show the twist?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
gonna-
end with the twist.
All right, this should be a good part. So, if you haven't played this part and you would rather not be spoiled, avert your eyes because this is a very important part. And if you've already played it and you know what's going to happen, you're in for a good time. The engine.
The big engine.
I do love this scene though.
Oh yeah. You spent a lot of time animating that cauldron in the back with all the different like states it's going through.
Yeah. I don't know why all the engines in pirate ships have faces on them, but I just had to do that.
It's Alphonse's time to shine. Dodge. Dodge all of the obstacles. No. There you go. You made it. Ooh. Oh, shit, I'm remembering. I'm getting emotional.
Really?
Oh, that's fine. Okay, watch out. Speed.
Functioning elevator.
Yeah. Barely.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the entire game.
Yep.
We spent so long trying to get this right. Oh.
It's the big boy time.
It's just a never-ending stream of people screaming Dirk.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
Oh, damn. I remember working on this and it taking forever. And then the first time we like saw it, everything put together, it was like, oh, it was worth it.
Yeah. we did like a test render of the whole thing, sat down and we're like, this is it. This is the cornerstone of the story.
Yep. And you know, at the time, there was so much stuff that we were gonna add that we just cut because of this exact scene. Like we had big plans for Advent. It was gonna be this huge adventure hub. You were gonna take on missions. You were gonna, you know, be able to build stuff and craft stuff.
Yeah, we actually had this whole thing where you were going to build chains to hold the islands together.
Yeah.
We had a thing where you would put different ingredients into a cement mixer and then get bricks to build houses again.
Yeah, the guy with the boat, the ferryman, he was a big part of that. You could travel out into different areas of the game, bring back stuff, put it in his boat, and then escort it to Advent and just build. Oh man.
In fact, there were a bunch of... So we had a whole theater where you could take Alphonse to the theater and he could perform a play. We were going to put on a whole play there. That whole place is modeled, by the way. That exists. Even the theater director exists. He was another stick bug.
Yeah.
And
we teased it like the day before we launched Owlboy. I seem to remember that we teased all of it in like an Advent music video. And when people played it, they were like, but I never got to go to Advent. We were gonna make this like huge thing. Like Geddy mentions Advent in his conversations. Like we were hyping the players to go to Advent, and then we just destroyed it in front of their eyes.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
And emotional.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, it was a big sacrifice to us too, because we had all these plans, but just to make sure that the story was consistent. This was like 2 years worth of work that we threw out.
Yeah.
Just to make this, to make the player feel the same way that we did.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember there's a shopkeep, like right when you get up there with that little elevator.
The clock tower, yeah.
Yeah, the clock tower had like secret stuff for when the dial would turn around, and you would have the shopkeep downstairs would sell you all kinds of useless junk. One of them were shoes that would like jingle when you run.
Yeah.
And the only purpose of those was to get the attention of someone that had their house locked. And that was really the only thing. You were just supposed to wear these shoes and be like, why am I jingling all over the place?
Yeah.
And it was to like open a secret area.
Yeah, we had a lot of plans, and then in one flash they were all gone, and we were like, okay, let's work on finishing the game now.
Yeah, but I think because remember what we said at the beginning of the stream was that part of the difficulty with Owlboy was that everything was locked in place. If you removed one piece, it broke the whole thing. Advent was one of the few places where we thought, if we remove this, it actually gets better.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really important lesson too.
Yeah. Hope we can still keep to that lesson with future games, but I'm pretty sure we can.
But I believe that would be where we stop.
Yeah, we're gonna continue next anniversary. But I mean, yeah.
Let's go back to the main screen.
And then we're gonna do some quick fire questions, but we're reaching the end of this anniversary stream. And everyone who's asked a question, we're still gonna add you to the Bogwin cage. We just don't have time to answer all the questions.
Yes.
But keep asking next anniversary, because we're gonna keep on doing this. There's never enough stupid questions.
If you want to give me the bowl, I can start assigning numbers and then just bring them over.
Yes. Okay. In that case, we will. I'll have. Let's do 5 more questions. There. And then. There you go. Okay. Because we have a couple of questions here that are kind of interesting.
Okay.
Okay. So, from let me say, from Plush B Draws. As a Norwegian person just out of school with interest for the gaming community, I guess my question is, how was it when you started this journey? Whew, it's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
How old were you?
When I started I think we both started developing games when we were like 14, 13, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think if they're talking about when we started the development journey for D-Pad specifically, I was 21.
Yeah. I think I was 20.
Yeah. And I mean, the one thing we should mention, Norway did have a couple of game companies.
We had Funcom at
Yeah.
the time. We had Art Plant. I applied to both.
I applied to Artplant. They did not return my calls.
No.
We had Playfish, which did a lot of Facebook games and things.
Yeah, back when Facebook was a thing that you made games for.
Yeah, and we had Rovn, which had just started,
Yeah.
I believe. But the thing was, we were a little unusual in that we were basically just two people doing something with no industry experience.
The indie scene in Norway started real slow.
Yeah, and I think so. In the past, I've said that we were one of the first indie studios, and I don't mean that as in we were the first small studio that existed. I think we were one of the first that started as just two people that did nothing in this, that were just part of this big indie wave where you could self-publish.
Yeah.
Because traditionally in Norway, and most of Scandinavia, you would still go through the regular publishing routes. You would talk to a publisher in order to get your game out on a storefront. You needed a bunch of dev kits from people. You needed contacts within shops to be able to sell your stuff.
Even on Steam back then, it was a very closed off platform. You had to have your game approved, tested vigorously. You still do, but now Steam is more of a huge community for game makers.
Everything is extremely open now as opposed to what it was before. And I think that's why I say that we were one of the first indie studios, is because we were part of a new wave that had just started in the US, where people were just making games and putting them out themselves.
Yeah.
And we thought, hey, how about we just try this? We'll make games and then we'll see what happens. And I mean, we started on Xbox Live Arcade.
That was one of the first platforms to welcome indies.
Yeah, I think it was the first place where you could self-publish.
Yeah.
So when we started developing on Owlboy in XNA of all things, that's when this new thing of you do everything yourself has started. And when we began that in Norway, that didn't exist.
No.
There was nothing like that. So when we went out and said that we're going to make games ourselves and then sell it to people ourselves and make that our company, people were like, okay, that's neat. What are you actually going to do with your life? So that was what was so strange was when we applied it for the
IGF.
For IGF, the Independent Games Festival at GDC in San Francisco. I think that was in 2010.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, I think we were like second place or something. But when we didn't win, all of a sudden people were like, wait, this is a thing you can do?
Yeah.
And then we came back and we were like local celebrities all of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, we had to go to America and get known for our little game there and then go back to Norway and then like, whoa, you've been to America.
Yeah, this is a valuable thing now. Jeez.
Yep.
So I guess we can sort of wrap up that question by saying that it was a very different time. Now, a lot of the things that have changed and allowed indies to develop stuff is sort of that just started when we had founded the company. Not when we began, but when we founded it. And has sort of bloomed from there.
Yeah.
So a lot of the boons of current developers, I guess we were right at the onset of that. So I'm really glad that things have developed for the better.
Yes. So if anyone in the chat is considering making games, go ahead. It's easy.
It's possible now.
And that was from Plush B Draws. You are number 24. Okay. Mira Mort. Question. What is your favorite song from the soundtrack?
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Jonathan is watching.
No, he went out. He left.
Ah,
You're
good.
stupid.
No, I mean, such perfect peace really pains me.
Yeah.
Like it's really difficult to listen to because it's so.
You even made an official artwork for that one. I'm gonna show
Yes.
it to the camera.
It's up on the wall, I believe. Because it was a track that meant so much to me and to the rest of our team as well, that when we released the track to the public, I wanted to make a like special commemorative image just for that. And,
Yeah. So
and
we
Toby.
we put the song on YouTube as well. If you search "Such Perfect Peace" on YouTube,
We're
you
having a tiny bit of lag, just FYI.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you can actually hear the song.
And of course, I mean, all the songs that are the main things of the game, I do really love. I
Yeah.
love the Owlboy theme. I love. I mean, of course, I composed the Bogwin theme, so I guess I have to have a little bias to that.
Yeah, and my favorite is the Tropos by Night. You
Oh,
can
yeah, it's
you can
lovely.
see that on YouTube as well.
Mesos.
Yes.
Theme, love it.
So that was Mira Mort. You are number 9. in
Should
the
we
bingo.
set that to like 3 more questions?
Yeah, I have 3 more balls.
Perfect.
And I have all of them assigned over here, so they won't be
Excellent.
left out.
Okay, from Luna Doggy. Can I adopt Otis as my son?
I think we'll have to look into the paperwork for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we, I think the right question here is that I think there's so many people that want to do that if we said yes, it wouldn't be fair.
There's a whole tree of them right behind
Oh
you.
yeah.
We
you-
could, how about we just say we all adopt Otis as our son?
I would. I mean, he's mute, so that's the perfect child right there.
Can you say that?
I can and I will.
Wait, what's the number?
That's Luna Doggy, 48.
40.
Okay.
Oh no.
And then we have a question from, let's see, there's so many, oh my god. What is the most valuable thing you as a team has learned after making Owlboy? This is a question from Naptar. The most valuable thing. We learned a ton. Like, we could write a book.
Yeah.
But if we've put it to heart, that's another question. I mean, we're still perfectionists. We still use a long time to make games. We still, the most valuable lesson to me was just knowing that we're actually able to finish a project.
Yes.
Like 10 years is a long time, but we finished it.
Yeah. Like we're actually, it was interesting when we did Savant Ascent because we were sort of like, can we actually do this? Are we actually as competent as we think we are?
Yeah.
After a while, everyone nagging you, your family, your friends, the people around you, the people that are anticipating your game, after a while it gets to you, like maybe we aren't good at this. And then we made Savant Ascent in 5 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden it turns out, oh yeah, no, we're actually pretty good at this. And then finishing Owlboy, you do feel like, hey, we can actually make some good things.
Yeah. Plus, it's been 5 years and we're still making a living off of Owlboy. So it was 10 years well spent. And, we're sitting here and we can work on exactly what we want. We can do whatever we want. We can wake up whenever we want to.
I mean, our homes were the result of this game. The lives that we can now live is because of the dedication that we put into this.
Exactly.
And I think a secondary thing that we learned, on one hand, just that other people can really help you get to where you need to be. I think if it wasn't for the D-pad team, we would kind of be a bit stuck. But because we can help each other, that helped a lot. And I think the last thing is being able to be thoughtful and selective about what we want to add to things.
Yeah.
Because I don't think so. I've said this before, but Owlboy took as long as Owlboy had to take because we didn't know anything at that point. These decisions that we made were decisions based on the best available information that we had. It wasn't just that we were lazy or throwing out stuff. To figure this stuff out was going to take time.
Yeah.
But now we know better and we've approached things with a better mind. Now, granted, of course, now it's 5 years since the launch, and maybe to the outside it looks like we're still on that path of let's spend forever making something, but we've made a lot of things. It's just that we've been very secretive about it.
It will become apparent pretty soon.
Yeah, and we've put all of those lessons that we learned during Owlboy's development and working as a team into effect. And I think things are going to get pretty rapid fire pretty fast,
Yeah.
just based on how good we've gotten in this, with what we learned.
Oh yeah. And that was a question from Neptar. Number 71 is you. Final question. And I had a question. It was here. Okay. From August Dev. What other activities do you guys like doing?
Well, I actually love cooking.
Yeah.
That's everything.
It keeps stopping and doing this spinny circle for a while.
Oh.
Stream.
Is that just for us?
No.
Or is it-
I'm watching the stream. It's lagging pretty badly.
Oops.
Maybe we should have used the wire.
Oh yeah. I can go and get the wire, but I don't know if that's the problem though.
I have no idea.
No. So.
Well, we'll just have to run its course.
Yeah.
And then hopefully.
I mean, we will upload this stream to YouTube,
Mhm.
and yeah, if it lags for everyone,
I guess the recording will too.
yeah, maybe. What does people say in the chat?
They're saying that it's lagging, but it's back for the moment.
Okay,
It's pretty far behind though, so
okay. Let us know if it gets
you
bad.
just put a ball into the.
Oh, okay.
That's how far behind it is.
In that case, yeah. What other activities do you like doing?
Well, I love cooking. Cooking is really fun. I've had a ton of recipes that I like to make, so that's fun. I mean, I do live streams on the side, which is entertaining.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I mean, playing games, I guess.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time these days, though. But
No, not at all. And I'm a dad, so I don't have much of a choice. But I like being a dad. It's a nice activity. And soon it's gonna be my double activity for the day.
well,
so it's gonna be good. And that closes our bingo. We have
what was that? That was 38? 88?
88.
88.
And that was August Dev.
Got it.
Yes,
88.
88.
All right.
Bring you these because these are the rest that didn't get.
It's bingo time. It's bingo time. Okay, let's bring it up to the stage.
All right. Are you?
There
It's
you
fine,
go.
it's fine, I got it. Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, you're making it hard with it moving.
Do you want to help? Yes.
All right.
They're all in the cage.
All right, here we go.
Okay, people.
It's time.
It is time indeed. Whoa. Okay. Oh my god.
Oh, we already got
Oh,
one.
was that it? I thought it was gonna be more of a hubbub than that. Okay. Our first prize winner is number 31.
Let me find it. Sorry.
Oh, she found it. She knows who the
It's
winner
about
is.
to
I can't
happen.
remember who the winner is, but we're gonna figure out pretty soon. Oh, is the result coming in?
Yeah, sorry, I got it. I forgot how to say.
Okay.
Brain stuff.
All right.
Do we have
Sure.
like a drum roll?
We do. It's gonna happen.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome back. So, part of the issue is,
Internet.
yeah, there's some issue with our connection, but we fixed it now. We were down to 0 bits per second,
We
which
have a
is
second winner,
not
though.
correct.
Yeah, we have a second winner.
We have a second winner. So, who won?
Oh, it was. Did I write it already?
I think
Hold
you
on.
did.
I think I did too. I don't know if I saved it. Okay, it was.
Hey!
Okay, Neptune Nova, we're gonna get in touch with you soon, and we're gonna send you this little Owlboy figurine.
All right. So,
Our final winner
this is the last one.
for the.
And because we messed that up last time, let's do it over here
Okay.
so it doesn't blow out the mic.
Oh, right. Let's go. Let's go. Whoa. What is that? We have number 62.
Oh, sorry, I'm chaos now.
All right.
62 for
The
the Owlboy.
anticipation.
Oh,
What is going to be the winner? Who's gonna be the winner? Nobody knows. Otis doesn't know.
go as fast as I can.
Go faster, Julie.
No, stop.
Here we go.
Hooray! Floridan won.
They fucking called it. They called it.
Wow!
Holy
The chat called it. Okay, Floridan. We're going to. Otis is going to make it your way. Yes.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, I think that makes it for the Owlboy 5th anniversary.
Yeah.
Really sorry about all the technical issues, but it wouldn't be a D-pad stream without
No,
it.
it's it's an annual thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be an anniversary without it.
Now, of course, the hope for the future is that, we'll have a little bit more tech prepared, and then we'll make sure that, everything is running smoothly.
Next year, or at least next time we stream, which hopefully won't be too long until that happens. We're gonna be up on our stage and have a show and tell.
Mhm.
Show our next game off.
So, really hope you enjoyed tonight. Yeah, I guess there isn't all that much more to say.
Thanks for celebrating with us.
Yeah, it's been a lovely 2 hours with you. We hope you enjoyed yourselves, and we certainly did.
Yeah, always.
And I guess you'll see us again for the next D-pad stream, which again will be not too long. But for this one, I guess we'll see you next year on the 6th anniversary of Owlboy. So for now, goodbye,
Goodbye.
and thank you for joining us.
Have a good evening.